Okay, gang, wanted to make a short training video for you today. It's about being a salesperson. We are realtors, we're real estate agents, but no, we are salespeople. It doesn't matter if you're selling computers, subscriptions, automobiles, you name it. We are salespeople. And that's what we are, and that's what we do. And you can't forget that. Okay. So I wanted to outline for you today a situation where you have to think outside the box every time on how are you going to make this transaction, this sale happen. We don't get paid unless we sell, right? Okay. So here was the situation. I had sellers, and they were happy with $900,000 listing their home. Okay. They had no mortgage. They had lots of equity in the house. Everything was good with that. Okay. So I'm trying to set up the parameters here. So they wanted to sell it for 900. They would take 860 and be happy with that. Okay. A year ago, the house would have sold for over $1 million. So they're being realistic about it. All right. So now here's the situation. Mortgage rates are high. Buyers are struggling to afford housing. They don't want to spend, right? They're nervous about spending. Interest rates more than doubled from where it was a year ago. So how was I going to turn this into a commission check for me? Well, you've got to make it a win-win situation. The buyer has to win. The seller has to win. The other agent, the buy-side agent needs to win, and I need to win. Okay, I'm the guy in the red. I'm the guy in the middle, okay? So how am I going to put this all together? So here was the situation. Couple comes in. They like the house, right? But they said, geez, we just can't afford it. The rate's too high. We're struggling to put a down payment, everything like that. And I asked them the question. Sometimes you got to ask them the question. Their agent wasn't with them. They did tell me they had an agent, but still, you can ask questions. So I asked them, what's your lender doing for you? Oh, what do you mean? Well, have you talked to your lender recently? Have you talked about any programs your lender has to offer with you? Well, no, we did get a pre-qualified letter, and we're pre-qualified for this amount, and here's what the rate is. And I said, well, look I have a lender who's really good at helping folks get the home they want and stay within a payment they want. So I said, let me make a call to him and let me put him in touch with you, but I'm going to have to go through your agent. So I want to make sure we're all on board with that. I don't want him contacting you directly. So I'm going to go through your agent. Okay. Okay. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. So they left. I immediately called their agent and said, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones just came by. They really like the house. They're struggling with the financial end. And the agent said to me, yeah, the rates is too high right now. And I said to the agent in a polite way as possible, how much experience you got working with lenders? And as it turns out, this was a new agent, right? Didn't have any experience, okay? All she wanted to make sure was that, hey, I got to get this place sold so I can get a commission check. And I explained to her, hey, I got a lot of experience here. I work with the same lender. I'm going to call my lender because I think we can do something here. She said, oh, I really appreciate that. So I said, okay, but I'm going to have the lender contact you so then you can tie the lender together with your buyers. I don't want to deal with anybody dealing directly with your buyers. Oh, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. So, okay. So I called my lender and I said, hey, here's the situation. What can we do? And first question he asked me, what type of equity they got in the house? I go, Dad, they got a ton of equity. They don't have a mortgage. Okay. They spent about $50,000 getting the house all ready to replace the carpet, did the painting, all that stuff, but they got a ton of equity. And immediately he said, okay, can they afford it? Yes, they got a pre-approval letter from a lender. Here's what the rate they can do. But I said, somebody's not tying in all the pieces here. Okay. And he said to me, great, here's what we can do. He says, ton of equity. What do they want to sell the house for? I said, they want 900. They'll take 860 on it. He says, okay, how about doing this? We'll get them what they want, the 860, but we'll write the contract for 880. They'll give them back in subsidies $20,000 in closing. They can take that $20,000 and buy the points down on the loan. I said, man, that sounds great. Where are we with the rate right now? So the current rate was 6.75, give or take a little bit there. And he says, he says, if we can buy it down by $15,000, okay, come up with that cash for $15,000, we can get the rate at 5.5 on a 30-year fixed. So, and he says, and they'll have some cash left over from the subsidy when they walk in and do the deal. So they got some money to do some things. So boom, sounded fantastic. Got all his information. I said, look, send it to me in writing. Sends it to me in writing. I called the other agent. I said, hey, look, here's what we can do. My sellers want 900. I go, we can really do this, get this deal done at 860. They're okay with that. And I says, but let's make it 880 and we'll give you $20,000 back in subsidies. Use $15,000 of that to buy the loan down with the pay to points. And you'll still have $5,000 left over. I could see it on dead silence on the other end. So I had to slow down, which is hard for me sometimes. And I explained to the other agent, this is how it's going to go. And I said, let me forward the email to you. My lender's great guy. Been in it for over 30 years. He knows how to spell it out for me. Stupid simple. Okay. And so he does. And I explained it to her. Here's how it's going to work. Boom, boom, boom. And she goes, wow, this is fantastic. She goes, is this okay? And I said, yeah, this is fine. So I said, look, here's the email. Here's the information. Have your buyer contact my lender. He'll explain everything to you. And she said, okay, great. So in the meantime, I had already had the conversation with my sellers and already said to them, hey, look, got these buyers. They're young. They want to get in the house. They got good finance and everything like this, but they're struggling because the rate right now is 6.75. Explained it all to them. And they said, so we'll get our 860. We'll give them back 20. They can then buy down the rate. They got $5,000 left over to do whatever they want. So they're not, when they get into the house, we get our 860. They get the house at 880. And he goes, and my seller said, so it sounds like the four of us win. And he caught me off guard with that. And I said, four of us? He goes, yeah, Jesus, Steve. He says, you win, you get your commission check. The other agent gets her commission check. The buyers win and we win. And I said, you're absolutely right. It's a win-win-win situation. So moral of the story is we are in sales and we have to figure out how can we turn this into a winning situation that everybody maybe gives a little bit, but in the end, people get what they want. So remember that. Sometimes you got to do the thinking, do the extra work for the other side so that everybody ends up with a win. And you're the person in the middle who's tied all these circles together. Hey, hope it helped. Have a great day. See you in the next video.